Hey everybody, I'm Robin from the Cotton Blossom, and today I'm so excited to show you the new Altair 2. It is the brand new machine from Baby Lock. Previously we had the Altair 1, but let me show you all the fabulous features of the Altair 2. The new Altair 2 from Baby Lock is the new enhanced version of the Altair 1. And so we've still got the fabulous 14 by 9.5 inch embroidery hoop. It comes with other hoops, but also this wonderful 14-inch hoop. And there's a lot of other fun things that come with the Altair 2 that are new. So this is one thing that is very exciting. This was an optional accessory before, but they've also created a new foot controller. It's a multi-function foot controller. So imagine your regular foot controller, and this is your regular gas pedal, which you would have on the floor, obviously. But now I've got the ability to program the heel press. So imagine if my heel were pressing on this as I'm sewing. I can program the heel press to do one of 6 different things. It can do needle up down. It can do foot up and down. It can cut my thread. It can do a reverse stitch. It can do a tacking stitch. It's fascinating. And then the sidecar, I call it the little sidecar. It's also another foot control pedal. This I can program to do one of those 6 things as well. I can do cut my thread, raise and lower my foot, so it can be completely hands-free sewing. So this is the new multifunction foot control, and you see how it's more ergonomic, and so this is much more comfortable to sew with. Also now, with the Altair 2 comes the compact digital dual feed. And so we've had the digital dual feed walking foot. This is like a walking foot on steroids. Before, it was a little bit bulkier. And if you've ever sewn with it, it's a fabulous walking foot. But now it's more compact, it's more narrow, and this fabulous belt is like a conveyor belt that pulls the fabric through at a very smooth, consistent pace. So I can get through very thick and very thin fabrics very easily with this walking foot. So if you think about a regular walking foot, a traditional walking foot, if you're a quilter, the fabric is walked through and you lose contact with the fabric as with a regular walking foot. With the compact digital dual feed walking foot, that conveyor belt stays in contact with all 3 layers of your quilt as it goes through the machine. So very nice new foot. With the Altair 2 comes this fabulous jewelry box of feet and accessories. There's lots of fun accessories that come with the machine. And one thing that I'm really excited about is the new multi-position screwdriver. So you think, what's great about a screwdriver? Well, it's black now. We've had the multi-position screwdriver, but I can use this. And now the Altair 2 has a new needle plate where all I have to do is insert the screwdriver into my needle plate. So I can easily change my needle plate with a pop of a button and clean out my sewing machine very quickly and easily, and change to a single needle hole plate with the touch of a button. It's the little things. Okay. So the Altair 2 is a sewing, quilting, embroidery, and IQ designer machine. It does a lot. But first of all, I'd like to show you some of the sewing features that are really exciting. So let's go to sewing. And so we've got a beautiful screen that's a touch screen. I've got lots of sewing stitches. And one thing that is very exciting about the new Altair 2 is there are new tapering stitches. So we've had this feature on our Solaris, and now they've added it to the next step down, the Altair 2. I can choose one of these gorgeous tapering stitches. I can create these beautiful stitches, and it tapers the beginning and the end of the stitch. So this is beautiful to go around the edge of a placemat, around the edge of a table mat. I can create these beautiful stitches with a touch of a button. Let me show you some of the samples that we've created. Can you see how this is one continuous stitch, but this is tapered at each point. And so we said we wanted a 3 repeat of this motif. So let me show you how I did that. So I've gone to my tapering stitch menu, and there's some gorgeous stitches that I can choose to taper from. I really like this Greek key stitch here. Beautiful stitch by itself, but look how cool it is if I change the repeat. So let's say I wanted to repeat this. Right now it's repeated twice. Let's say I wanted a 3 or 4 repeat. And so it's going to repeat 1.5 inches. Now that I've chosen the 3-peat of this beautiful stitch, when I hit go, it lowers the foot automatically for me. And my only job is to steer the fabric, and it stops sewing exactly where I told it to. I hit the cut feature, and I've created a beautiful stitch that tapers at the beginning and end. I can do that with dozens of gorgeous stitches. If I wanted this beautiful snowflake, I could create the snowflake and turn that into a beautiful stitch as well. What's also new on the Altair 2 is the ability to do a faux sashiko stitch. So if you've seen the Baby Lock sashiko, it is a patented machine that does a true hand stitch look, and there is no thread in between the stitches. It's gorgeous. Well, now the Solaris and the Altair 2 and the Chorus can all do this faux sashiko stitch, and it's very exciting. So there's a whole menu of sashiko stitches, and it uses monofilament thread and does a beautiful, what looks like a hand stitch look. So you could quilt your entire quilt with this beautiful stitch. One feature that I really love about the Altair 2 that we had on the Altair 1, and it's the laser guide beam. So do you see this red line that's on my machine? Okay, so that right now is where the needle is going to drop. But what's really cool about this guide beam is that I can move it, and I can move it over. And so if you'll notice on my needle plate, I can move my guide beam over to a 1/4 inch. If I want to find my perfect 1/4 inch seam, I can run this red light along the edge of my fabric. And I can get a perfect 1/4 inch seam. Another feature I really like on the Altair 2 is the automatic reinforcement stitch and the automatic pivot button. So if I want to pivot my fabric or even stop to check my seam, the automatic reinforcement and the automatic pivot button, when those are turned on, it will reinforce my seam in the beginning and do a tacking stitch or a reinforcement stitch in the beginning. And then when I'm done sewing, it will lead the needle down and the foot will come out halfway. That's a reinforcement stitch, and then it starts sewing. When I'm done sewing, it leaves the needle down, foot comes up halfway, so that now I can pivot and continue to sew. So the Altair does a lot of new exciting sewing things, but now I've switched over to embroidery. This is really exciting, the things that the Altair 2 can do in embroidery. So I'm going to go to embroidery. There are new fonts. There are 30 built-in fonts now in the Altair 2. There is a gorgeous new large font. I really like this font. It almost has it's got a filigree in the background and a candle wicking stitch. Also new is this entire new category of lace and crochet. So check this out. Okay, so these are gorgeous new lace designs. If I choose this one, it's very pretty. When I set that in my embroidery field, let's pretend I wanted to create Christmas ornaments out of these. If I wanted to create an entire hoop, a 14-inch hoop of these crochet ornaments, there's a new feature called the matrix feature. All I have to do is tap a button and it will duplicate my ornament or my lace design, and it will completely fill the hoop. So watch this. I'm going to make them further apart. Imagine making these in red and green and white. It'd be beautiful Christmas colors. And I tap set, and I can turn that into, stitch that on water-soluble stabilizer, and I've got beautiful lace designs. And also color sorts. So if this is more than one color, it'll do all one color at one time. The matrix feature is really exciting. Another new, very exciting thing that the Altair 2 can do is yarn couching. So if you've been to any gift shop in the United States in the last few months, you've noticed that yarn couching is big. And now the Altair 2 has the ability to embroider yarn onto projects. And so we've really had a lot of fun creating the letters. There's an entire alphabet of yarn couching letters. There's also additional open designs that are very pretty. So I can do an owl or a heart or a butterfly, very pretty. But what we've had the most fun with is the letters. And I loved to stitch on the Kimberbell embroidery leather and stick it onto something that I'm not able to embroider. So that's a lot of fun. Here's an example of the yarn couching embroidery designs on a cute little denim jacket. You can do roses, you can do butterflies, you can do flowers. Really fun. Baby Lock has an app now for the Altair 2, and I can send designs wirelessly from my phone, take a picture of what's in the hoop and send it wirelessly to the machine because the machine is wireless. So if you'll notice, I've hooped this fabric crooked. It's okay, because watch how easy it is to line it up on the screen. So I attach my embroidery frame. And once again, do you notice how crooked this is hooped? But that's okay, because now I can line it up on the screen. Do you see how now my background image is the same as what's in the hoop? And all I've got to do is tap edit and rotate, and I can rotate 0.1 degree at a time to line up my adorable dress form. And then my happy sewing, I can rotate it to line it up, move it over. And even though it looks crooked on the screen, it's crooked in the hoop. And so it lines up perfectly. I can see that it's lining up great, and I'm ready to embroider. What's great about the Baby Lock Altair 2 is I've got this fabulous large color LCD screen, and it walks me through step by step. If you'll notice now, I've got a new button on the Altair 2. It's called the No Sew button. They added that last year with the Solaris Vision, and now it's on the Altair 2. Very convenient feature because I can turn on and off different parts of my embroidery design. It used to be something that I'd have to take the design into my software on my computer to turn design parts on and off. Now I can do it on the machine. So let's pretend I didn't want that background of the white on the dress form. All I have to do is say no sew, and it turns off the background, and now I can see my fabric through my design. Very cool feature. Okay, so I've got my sewing themed fabric hooked up, and let's pretend I want to turn this into a quilt block. I can do that with a touch of a button now within the embroidery field of the Baby Lock Altair 2. So all I have to do is tap the quilting button. I can add a stippling around my words that say happy sewing, or an echo stitch. Or one of the really cool new fill stitches. I can change my quilting design to one of 30 new fill stitches that are built in. So let's pretend I wanted to add a pretty scallop around my happy sewing. Now the entire hoop will be filled with that quilting design, and I can customize it however I'd like. Very cool. If I wanted to create something on a towel, so what if I hooped it crooked? The Altair 2 now has a new 2-point positioning ability. I can position something. So do you see how I've got a black line created on my fabric, and I drew a big black line so that you could see it? And let's very quickly and easily build something. So let's say I wanted to put writer's name on this line. I do lots of editing, but first of all, I need this to go on this line. Once again, it's very difficult to get things perfectly straight in the hoops, but it's very easy with the Altair 2 because of the camera feature and because of this 2-point positioning. Watch how easy it is to line this up. So I'm going to tell this I'm going to press this button here, and it's going to turn on the red light. Do you see the red light on the hoop? And I'm going to tell the machine that I want the light to be in the bottom left-hand corner so that I can line it up with that line. And then I'm going to say, yes, I want to line up the bottom edge of this name. I'll say next. So first it's telling me exactly what to do. It says align the LED pointer with a point to align and press the next key. So my job is to line it up with the first part very precisely. There's the first step, and then I say next. And it says now line it up with your second positioning point. So I'm going to move the light I can move it slow, medium, or fast. Let me go a little bit faster. Okay, so now I've got it lined up with the second point on the line. Now watch this. When I tap set, do you see how it rotated righter? That will line up with the line that I drew. So imagine if you're stitching on a towel with a band on a towel and you need a monogram to line up with that, or if you have a striped fabric, or really anything, you can line it up much easier with this very simple 2-point positioning system. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing with the matrix feature. And so let's pretend I wanted to put these adorable emojis, one of these emojis in the hoop, but I need to create patches for all of my kids' things. So if I wanted this cute emoji, and I needed lots of them, I can fill up the entire hoop very quickly with the new matrix feature. And I would want to move these further apart. And when I tap set, and when I'm ready to embroider, because it color sorts, it will do all of the yellow in one step and all of the black in another step, so that I'm not constantly having to change my threads. If I did these individually, I'd be changing my threads a gazillion times. But with the color sort, it sorts all the colors at one time. And let's say I really like this design, but let's pretend I wanted to turn off the little cheeks. Do you see the cute little pink cheeks? I could hit no sew on the pink cheeks. And now I've got simple emojis with sunglasses. So I've talked about the sewing features. I've talked about the embroidery features. We cannot leave until we talk about the IQ designer features. They are amazing. So I can create my own embroidery designs with IQ designer. And what's super cool now with the app, I can send the designs wirelessly from my phone or my tablet to the machine. So I can create my own custom embroidery designs. Let me show you how. This is the IQ positioning app from Baby Lock. It's a free app when you have the machine, and I can go to my phone, and there's lots of pictures on here, but look, I took a picture of this pumpkin. It's a simple coloring book photo of a pumpkin, and I'm going to say send to the machine, and it's sent to IQ Designer. So I say okay. Now check this out. When I go to IQ Designer, and I go to my menu, I'm going to pull it in from the Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to tap the most recent picture, and look at there. There's my pumpkin that I pulled from my phone. I'm going to say set. I'm going to turn this into a line design. So I've got these wonderful crop features. I can crop out or crop in different parts of the design, but I just want the pumpkin. I'm going to say okay. And set. Now is where I can get really creative. Let's pretend I want to turn this into a colored filled design. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to choose a brown, and I want to fill up the stalk with brown thread. It will do an entire fill stitch within that stalk. And I'm going to choose a green, and I'm going to fill up this vine with green thread. Now this is where it gets really exciting. I've got new fill stitches, 30 new fill designs that I can fill up any space with. Let's check out all these fabulous new designs. So I've had a few with the Altair, and now the Altair 2 has new designs. I love some of these. Let's say I wanted to do the basket weave. Okay. And I want those to be orange. Okay. I'm going to pour the basket weave into different parts of my pumpkin. But let's make it even more interesting. I'm going to choose a different fill stitch. Let's choose one of these new designs. And I'm going to change it to, let's say I want that one to be tan orange color. Pour that into that space. Now that's really cute. One thing I really like too is there's new motif stitches. So those are fill stitches, but I can make any line, the outline of that pumpkin, any line within that pumpkin, I can choose all of these different beautiful motif stitches. I can do a single stitch, I can do a candle wicking stitch, I can do a blanket stitch. this is really cool. These are all new fill stitches on the Altair 2. I can create any line with these pretty fill stitches. These are, I can change the border to a satin stitch, but one thing that I'm not that great at is applique with my sewing machine, but I can make my embroidery machine do it very easily, and it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to change that to an orange color, and watch this. I'm going to take my fill cup and I'm going to tap the line, and let's see what I've created. I'll tap preview and okay, and now it's going to turn it into what I've created. Can you see that I've got the basket weave and I've got this little flower stitch within each of those components, and then it's got an applique stitch. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. How cool is that? So now when I stitch that out, it's going to look like I hand stitch applique onto that fabric. And I've created my own custom fabric, my own custom quilting. I've created my own custom pumpkin in IQ Designer. You can actually draw on the screen. So I'll try to sign my name. Oh, goodness. My handwriting's not very good. I'm sure your handwriting's much better. But now I've got my own custom artwork that no one else has ever been able to create. It's really fun. So as you can see, the Altair 2 is a really amazing machine. We have them in stock at the Cotton Blossom. So please come see us at the Cotton Blossom.